7th June 1893. What happened on 7th June 1893? A humble man, a decent man was thrown out of a train compartment. Why? What happened? What happened which led to this incident? He was a decently behaved man. He was behaving aptly. He had the adequate ticket to travel as well. But he was still humiliated and thrown out of a train compartment. Yes, I'm talking about none other than Mahatma Gandhi. When this incident happened, he was so humiliated and frustrated as to why this happened to him. He had everything required to travel, but why this is being done with him? And that made him to ask the bold question to himself first, based on the frustration he was facing, that why him? And he realized it's not about him per se, it's about his country. He does not come from a free country at that time. His country is not free, which led to this humiliation that he was facing. And it was that moment which multiplied into nation's freedom movement. Good morning, everyone. I'm Raghunandan Saraf, coming from a small town in Rajasthan to share my stories and ideas. What does this mean for students and people now in free country right now? So it could be any moment that we are facing in our daily life which can multiply itself into the bigger picture that we're dreaming of. It could be a very small thing like a pat on the back from your teacher for being disciplined in class, for scoring well, or it could be a competition from your friends about scoring better or doing well in sports as well. So it does not necessarily have to be a humiliation for anything to multiply your efforts. It can be an appreciation as well. Like Oscar Wilde said, he can go 3 months with an appreciation. So based on this, I've been experimenting on myself and a few colleagues of mine as to understand what creates this, what is the major factors which leads to this ripple effect, which can make moments multiply based on your efforts, and what are those things which we can summarize into 4 things now. So those things, as we can see, are, so I have summarized these things into 4 parts, which is A, B, C, and D. So A, as we all learned, as the first thing we learned in school, is A for apple. Yes, I'll come to that. But A right now is for awareness. How awareness? So awareness is something which can stop a failure. Being aware about what you're doing, what is happening around you, and what should not be done can stop a failure. And the same thing can also start a success. For example, we learned A for an apple, and we also learned an apple a day keeps the doctor away. So for those of us who are acting on it, it started with being aware about this, that an apple a day keeps the doctor away. So awareness is something which is the first spark towards finding yourself, or finding what is that one thing which you should be focusing yourself on. But let's assume that we are all aware about what's happening between us, around us, and inside us. But then what happens? What comes next after it? That is B. B is for the bigger picture. Like I mentioned about Mahatma Gandhi, he saw the bigger picture. He saw that what is happening with him, and if he wants to stop this from happening again with him, it cannot be just about him. It has to be about the bigger thing. It has to be about his country. So he started small. He thought big, of course. He realized it has to be about the nation as a whole. But he started small, but he started immediately. So the idea is to think big, to act now, and maybe start small. And then comes my favorite, which is C. C is for compounding. And C is for compounding. So what compounding actually means is, let me start with a small mathematical example. If you improve yourself 1% every day, yes, just 1% every day, and if you keep doing that for 365 days, you would have improved yourself by 37 times by the end of the year. Yes, that is the mathematical equivalent of compounding your efforts. You would have improved yourself 37 times by the end of the year. And the best friend of compounding is consistency. It is about doing what you want to do every day, one step at a time. I recall a small speech from Roger Federer, the great tennis player, where he said that he won more than 80% of the matches he played. Yes, that is great. I mean, that is what is expected out of a player like him. But he said he only won about 52% of the points. That means every other point counts. So you have to be consistent in every step that you do. Consistent may not necessarily mean finding success at every step. You may find failure or you may find setbacks also, but you have to keep doing that because consistency multiplies your efforts. So we have awareness now, we have the bigger picture, we know it's the compounding effort of consistency. But what is one cohesive catalyst which binds them all? That, my dear friends, is discipline. So a young Nobel laureate was asked, what made him achieve this at such a young age, what made him write all this? And his answer was, I only write when I'm motivated. Oh yes, motivation, of course, how can you forget motivation? That is the most important factor which we think we need every day. Yes, we do. We can't underestimate motivation. But then he took a pause and he said that I make sure I'm motivated every morning at 9 a.m. What's that? That is discipline. So discipline is always bigger and better than any sort of motivation. Discipline multiplies your talent. Discipline is the binding factor which, when put together with everything that you're putting into, reflects the bigger picture you're working towards. So these are the 4 ABCDs which represents how we can put forward ourselves in this world. But how do we start? Like we have to find a starting point, we have to find the journey, and we have to understand where we want to reach. So then it all starts with 3 C's, as I could understand from my experience. The first C being clarity of purpose and direction. So that basically means that what do you want to do? That one thing which you think about every day, no matter if you want to think about it or not, but what is it that you want to do? Where do you want to go? Like which direction you want to take? Because you are disciplined, you are consistent, you are talented, you're putting in efforts, but where is it taking you? Direction multiplies discipline. So unless your discipline or efforts are directed towards something particular, it may be haphazard. So clarity of purpose, clarity of direction is the first thing that you need. After that is of course, we know, now we have understood what we want, we have clarity, we know what we need to put into, but we need to start that first thing, the first step, we take the first step towards doing that. And for that, of course, we all need courage. And it may not be easy to come by. It may not be that easy to find out the courage to take that first step. And we have that fear of, what if it's right or not? Is it the right time or not? Is it the right thing or not? Am I right for it or not? So that fear of unknown, which I believe is the most underrated, yet the biggest fear known to humankind, is that fear which may have a big pause in taking that first step. And you may, or I may, or anybody may wait for that fear to disappear magically, something to happen and for fear to disappear. Imagine if Gandhiji would have thought that. I mean, he must have feared, like he was dreaming about, I mean, we all know he's a freedom fighter, but trust me, he was a dreamer. So with that moment, he was dreaming about what to do, how to make sure he's not humiliated again. And he saw that grand vision of making India free and taking people with him. Of course, you must have that fear, like this is a huge task he's thinking upon. Where does he start? And so the first thing to do to overcome fear is to start acting. Because when you start acting, the fear starts shrinking. It may not disappear with your first act, but the more you keep acting on something, the fear will start shrinking and ultimately it will disappear. So now we have the clarity, we have found the courage to do what we need to do. What else? That's it. That is what we know the bigger picture. Is that it? I mean, are we achieving the right thing now? Maybe yes, but this is what I am thinking. This is what he may be thinking. This is what you may be thinking. But can we all do it alone? Could Gandhiji do it alone? No, we all need community. Community can be your friend, your group of friends, your class, your family, your society. Any number of people that you're connected to is your first community, is your first level of community. Never underestimate the power of community, because if you share your idea with people and take them on board, it multiplies organically. If you sit with 5 good people, wise people, you are a sixth wise person. If you sit with five lazy person, how would you grow? You become the sixth lazy person. The power of community is such that the more people you align your ideas with, it grows inorganically. So we have clarity now, courage, and the community that we all need for our moment of understanding to multiply. So what does it mean for you? I mean, there must be that one thing that you are frustrated every day. There may be one thing which you are excited about every day. Or there could be something which you think about every day, intentionally or not, but it always crosses your mind. So when do you start acting on it? What is the right time? Is it today? It's not tomorrow. It's not after exams, and it's certainly not after success. It is today. Thank you.